Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Nicole. This is Nicole Outside, and this morning I want to take you guys along on a garden tour and as I harvest some things and help get this garden under control. The past few weeks have been super busy for Eric and I. We got our roof replaced. We have been working on building a deck, which you guys will see soon. We've been extremely busy with work. We went out of town last weekend and we're headed out of town again this weekend. And so to say this garden has been neglected is saying the least. This morning, I finally have some time to myself where I can come out here and do what I love, kind of show you guys everything that I've been growing this season, show you how everything is doing, and we've got some stuff that's not going well in the garden too. As you can see, the borders of the garden are completely unfinished. I had amazing plans to get everything finished before I filmed this tour so that it looked nice and pretty and, you know, picture perfect, and that's just not my reality. So you guys are going to see the garden completely unfinished, piles of wood chips everywhere, weeds growing like crazy, lots and lots of pest issues to show you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So as you guys saw in one of my last gardening videos, these are the garden beds that we made out of the concrete blocks. You can still see the concrete blocks under here. At this point, everything is leveled. Obviously, the soil is in the ground, and we've worked this spring and primarily summer to get some landscape fabric laid around the perimeter of the garden. And then we took these old, I don't know, it's like old landscape edging from other beds around our house to create a nice perimeter around the garden. As you can see, best laid plans, I had chip drop a bunch of wood chips at my house. We have utilized them in a ton of different places around our property. This was one of the final places that we wanted to get them laid, so we've been doing a lot of work in the background too. But this is just not quite finished yet. I need to work today, hopefully, to get these positioned properly, get the border pieces positioned properly, and then rake out all of the wood chips to fill in all of the spaces. Can you guys hear those birds? It's so pretty and so peaceful out here. All right, so starting with this front bed, I've got all of the peppers. Well, I've got a lot of peppers planted here. I had some trouble with this bed in the beginning of the season. It is obviously the soil. For context sake, I live in zone 7B, 8A. I'm kind of teetering on that line in North Carolina. And I seeded all of these peppers back in February, I believe. Today is July 25th. And the peppers are still this small. I have not fertilized this bed except for, I've only fertilized this bed twice. So like, obviously I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing with peppers, but I still feel like even despite all of that, they shouldn't be this small. At this point in the season, I'm like, whatevs, because we still have, as you can see in the background, all of these different pepper plants, and I already have like a slew of peppers that I don't know what I'm gonna do with. So as lazy and as like stupid as this sounds, I'm just leaving these peppers in the bed to see what happens. I'm kind of thinking like the growing season here is so long that maybe I'll get some peppers before October, and if I do, great. If I don't, whatever. Over on this side, I had some kohlrabi. I really loved growing this kohlrabi this season. It really took me by surprise. I was up at the hardware store earlier this spring, and I saw that they had the kohlrabi discounted for 50 cents for a 4-pack of plants. So I was like, what the heck? Why not just throw it in the garden? Loved that. We'll definitely do that again. I just pulled the kohlrabi out of here. I was trying to leave them and let them grow a little bit longer, especially so that I could get them into the garden tour, but they were just looking so spent, and it's been so hot lately that I went ahead and pulled them and made a really beautiful slaw out of them. I've actually got it in the fridge still. So loved growing kohlrabi. Well, 10 out of 10, we'll do that again. When I pulled out the kohlrabi, I planted some zinnias in this bed because I've really enjoyed like a cut flower garden, which you guys will see in just a second on the other side, but only some of them are sprouting up. I just planted them the other day, so I've got to give them a little bit more time to germinate, but that's what's going on this side of the bed. On this side of the pepper bed here, where we have the first side of our big arch trellis, I have a pumpkin plant. The pumpkins have been growing just okay. I had a really hard time getting them germinated. I direct seeded them, which I'm not surprised by. I am pretty sure that I have squash vine borer. I did have a plant in this corner here, but I had to pull it because it was like rotting from the inside out. I did not go ahead and dig and see if I could see the vine borer in there because I was honestly a little grossed out and I was just like, whatever. Pretty sure that I have that problem going on this season, which is weird because I'm a new gardener, and I was thinking that loofah might be, or like all of the cucurbit kind of plants would be affected by a squash vine borer, which I'm pretty sure that's what loofah is, but the loofah is absolutely flourishing. Like, it's almost a little bit out of control, and I don't know how, like, is it gonna stop growing? I don't know. And so all that to say, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening with the baby pumpkins that I'm trying to grow, but not entirely sure. So just trying to, you know, take it day by day. If they grow, great. If they don't, oh well. Over here, you can see that the baby pumpkin plants are a lot more, yeah, they're a lot stronger. I even have a baby pumpkin on this side. Here, let me show you. Ah! I don't know what that bug was. But see, like, look how cute she is. So, like, things are happening. I have seen multiple bees on these flowers since I've been out here setting up for the tour. So I know for sure that things are getting pollinated properly. Well, obviously they're getting pollinated properly because I have that pumpkin there. But yeah, it is starting to climb, which is a positive thing. Another thing that I have going on, again, like, I'm a newer gardener, so I don't really know. I kind of just let things happen. But I've got these seeds here. Don't know, or not seeds, but eggs, it looks like. Don't know what they are. I know I probably don't want them, so I just try to brush them off when possible. And yeah, hopefully I'm not releasing a massive pest into the garden by doing that. One thing, every year that I put in a garden, no matter if it's just a small container garden or something bigger like this, every year that I do it, I learn a lot. And I have had this inkling in years past that I don't like growing tomatoes. I hate the way that they feel on my skin. I feel like I always have pest issues. I always get blossom end rot because I don't fertilize properly. It's just, I'm just not like an attentive gardener. I'm just learning to embrace it. And you know, this year is no different. I hate growing tomatoes, and every single year I continue to do it because I love nothing more than a fresh tomato from the garden. Here we have got a variety of tomato that I got in a free seed packet. It's called Floridated tomato. There's one here, 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 and here. And then at the end here, I have a yellow pear cherry tomato that I have yet to get tomatoes from. Probably because they're heavy feeders and because I have everything so densely packed in here. So again, I am aware of my gardening ways, and yet here I am. One thing that has brought me a lot of joy this year are flowers. I seeded from seed this year a new kind of marigold called a key lime marigold. This is the flower here. Those are so prolific in the garden. I have really enjoyed. They're kind of going everywhere. They attracted a lot of Japanese beetles, but I think that's a good thing because then they didn't go to my other plants. I have just really enjoyed the flowers this year, and so moving forward, I think I'm gonna do less vegetables and more flowers. Probably will sound silly to a lot of people, but I would just like prefer to buy those tomatoes, for example, in bulk from, you know, an organic grower, an organic local grower, and then I can can tomatoes that way. Because that's why I like to grow so many tomatoes, is to try to can all of our tomato products here at home. So anyway, quick distraction there, but that's kind of how I'm feeling about the tomatoes. I am seeing the starts of some little cherry tomatoes. Can you guys see them in there? So cute. They're gonna be so yummy once I grow them. There's some more starting here. So the plant is starting to set fruit. It's just a little bit behind. Here I've got some lemon balm. I decided to grow this in a pot so that it didn't take over. However, it's now getting these, it's been like absolutely thriving in this pot. But now I'm seeing these like purple, the edges are like purple. Can you guys tell? If anyone knows why that's happening, comment down below and let me know. Because I would love to not lose this plant. It's been awesome. All of our wood chips are starting to grow mushrooms too. We don't like eating mushrooms. I mean, I'm not even sure if these are edible. If anybody knows what these are, please tell me down below, comment down below. We wouldn't eat them even if they were edible, but still kind of cool to see. Over on the back side of these two garden beds that I just walked y'all through, I have a bunch of peppers in pots. I have got what we thought were bell peppers, but I really think that they're a pepper called ancho gigante. I think some of my seedlings got mislabeled, so kind of a mystery. But we've got what we thought were bell peppers, maybe ancho gigante, and then we also have some more bell peppers that look like they're properly labeled. We've got these beautiful purple peppers. No idea what they are, but loving those. We've got what I thought was tam jalapeno, but it looks like a banana pepper, which, again, mislabeled. Happy to see what they actually are. We've also got these cayenne pepper plants. They're absolutely living their best life over here. We've got a lot of them that are starting to set fruit. So, not quite ready yet, but excited to see what happens with those. These two plants here are absolutely chock full of cayenne pepper, so I'll have to look up how to make hot sauce soon. Another bell pepper plant here, and then walking across the garden, we've got another cayenne plant. Let's see here. More what looks like banana peppers. This is called a big Thai chili pepper. It actually looks like this one's a little overripe. I didn't catch that one in time. I'll have to chuck that so that the dogs don't get it. Another bell pepper. Another one of these, like, it's growing purple. Love that. That's so cool. More bell pepper. More bell pepper. And then more of what looks like a banana pepper that was labeled as bell pepper. So it's obviously a soil problem because these pepper plants all down this line here were seeded at the exact same time that the peppers in this bed were. So something funky happening there. Now that we're over to the peppers, I'm gonna harvest a few. These, like I said, are labeled the tam jalapeno, which is supposed to be like a mild jalapeno, but they're neon yellow like a bell pepper or like a banana pepper is, so I don't really know. I'm gonna try my best to keep them like separated in the basket. The rest of them look like they could use some more time. These bell peppers look like they could take some more time, so I'm gonna leave those there. Same with these, honestly. I could probably leave those on the plant a little bit longer to keep growing. I do think I'll take some of these though. I'm just looking through the cayennes here. I'm sure it's difficult to see, but I'm gonna leave those to grow a little bit longer. This bell pepper, I'm taking that for sure. I'm gonna eat that for lunch. It's got one cayenne here. It has like a rotten end though. So I guess maybe I didn't catch it in time. I think I'll chuck it into the woods, but this is what a fully grown cayenne's supposed to look like. I think these two are big Thai hot peppers. They're not fully grown, but I just accidentally broke the plant, so I went ahead and pulled them. It is getting very hot out here. Starting back on the other end of the garden, something else that has brought me a lot of joy this year is growing zinnias. I have absolutely loved coming out here and picking bouquets to bring inside. I feel like I can't describe how much joy it brings me, which is why I decided to plant some more zinnias up in that other pepper bed that was kind of a flop for me this year. Right below the zinnias, we have this absolute eyesore, which is the green beans. The Japanese beetles this year really went ham on the green beans. They're kind of annoying me, so I think what I'm going to do today is cut all the plants down and then harvest all of the beans off of them, and then maybe try to plant some more zinnias in its place. Next to the green beans, I also have some carrots growing. I seeded these carrots this was the very first bed that we got established, so I seeded them way early in the spring. And my dad was so funny when he came over to help me level all of the beds a little bit more. He took some dirt from this area, which scattered all of the carrot seeds out into the yard, which was completely fine, but that's why there's like this big missing patch of carrots here, and I just never reseeded them. Over here we had lettuce growing. You can kind of see where I cut all of the lettuce off. I seeded buttercrunch lettuce and a red leaf. It was called a Merlot variety lettuce. We really enjoyed having this here. That's one thing that we've eaten a lot of fresh from the garden is this lettuce that we grew. So yeah, I was really happy to have that available. And as soon as like the thick of the summer, the big, heat waves of the summer pass and we kind of get a little bit closer to the autumn time, I'll definitely reseed some more lettuce. Now, I have saved the best for last for you guys. I am so proud of the loofah trellis. I have seen people do these cattle panel trellises in their gardens online. It was so unbelievably easy to install them and put them up. The construction of them is so solid. Like it's holding this with absolutely no effort whatsoever. And my loofah plant is absolutely thriving. This plant, it's kind of hard to capture on camera. This plant is setting a lot of fruit. The majority of them though have not grown. Like the heat is really just starting to come in North Carolina, and so the majority of them haven't like grown the fruit out a lot yet. I don't know what kind of oh, gross. I'm pretty sure that was a cucumber beetle, but not totally sure. So you can see this is, I guess, the flower of the plant, and then here's some more fruit down here. I assume that this is where the flower, or like where the plant will fruit out all of the loofah sponges at, but not totally sure. This is my first time growing this. Honestly, like even if no fruit grew, I would be pretty disappointed, but just based upon the vine that it provides and the shade and just like how cool and yeah, just how cool it is. Like, this is still worth the effort to grow it just in and of itself. I don't know if you guys can see up there, but there's a ton of fruit setting up there too. So it's so cool to see. At this point in the garden season, it's really hard to tell, but this loofah here, there's actually 4 plants. I've got 2 here on this side, and then I've got 2 here on this side, and then the zinnia is like back up to it. So I don't know what I've done right here. I think that it's the heat. I think loofah really loves the heat. And we have had throughout the month of like the end of June and then all of July, our temps get into like the mid 90s every single day. It's super humid here. It's like a little bit miserable, but it's perfect evidently for the loofah, which like I'm so happy about. This is so cool. All right. And so this is where things like begin to get crazy again. I have some basil planted here, kind of getting choked out by the key lime marigold, but I'm just like letting her live her life and do her own thing. I have got some Roma tomatoes over here that are, again, kind of getting taken over by the loofah. It's like starting to root or tie off to the tomato plants. Why? I need to fix that. Let me just tuck you back in there. Go back to where you belong. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm famous for overpacking gardens. So yeah, I think you guys have seen that at this point. I've got some gorgeous orange and like autumnal toned marigolds here. Some more Roma tomatoes. And then this is the Roma tomato plant that I would say is like the furthest along. I have some, oh, there's a rotten tomato there. I have, I don't know like what's going on with this plant or why it looks like this. It's almost like a rust. That's again like an inexperienced gardener's self-diagnosis, but if anyone knows what's going on with this, just let me know. We have got more of those key lime marigolds there. Some more basil. We've got 2 Roma tomato plants in pots here or in like grow bags. I've got this really bad leaf curl happening. I don't know if it's a nutrient deficiency or a watering problem. Shoot, maybe both. I've got some oregano here in a pot that's absolutely thriving. I've been picking from that a lot this year to cook with. And then we've got 2 more Roma tomato plants here. The leaf curl is happening here as well. Not happening here though, which is kind of interesting. My 2 babies. Hi, babies. They're like, Mom, we are not coming out there. Are you serious? Hey, babies. Did you guys decide to come say hi? You say hi? Hi, my Mia. Hey, Meek. Hey, Bubba. I just broke my tripod, but I still want to film. So forgive the angle. You guys are sitting on the ground. YouTuber probs, am I right? I'm gonna clip the green bean plants off at the ground level because I've heard that they're nitrogen fixing plants. I'm not super sure about how all of that works, like, I don't know, on a cellular level, but I'm gonna clip them off at the ground so I can leave the roots in the soil and hopefully gain any nutrients that way, because obviously I need it. here is the little green bean harvest we ended up with. So enough for one of us for dinner tonight. And then here's what the bed is looking like after. It looks so much more tidy. I just love it. All right, next up we need to go harvest some blueberries. Over here is my rhubarb plant. I just planted this spring and I'm getting kind of concerned because I've had some dieback, which I think is maybe normal for, I don't know. I've never grown rhubarb, but I've had like a couple of stalks break off, like blacken and break off like this. And then otherwise it just feels like very like weak. And I know it sounds silly, but I don't know if it's getting too much water or not enough. But I'm kind of concerned because it just doesn't have its structure to it anymore. So I don't know if this is like a normal rhubarb life cycle summer thing or if my plant is dying. If anybody knows, please let me know. All right, off to harvest blueberries. These are 3 different varieties. I forget the variety names, but this one harvests first, this one comes second, and then this one comes third. At this point in the season, we're already down to that one. So let's go see what we have. Oh my gosh. So delish. Wait, those are so good. Guys, thank you so much for watching this garden tour. Despite all of the challenges, both self-created and non, this garden really has brought me a lot of joy this year, especially the loofah trellis behind me and the zinnias and the flowers. And so I'm just incredibly grateful. This has been a dream in the making pretty much for me. I've always dreamt of having like a well-established gardens where I can like reach across the bed and come down here and pick bouquets in the evenings after work. And thank you for coming along as some of my dreams are coming true in our outdoor spaces. I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.